Oh boy. Well, this is going to be a fun movie to review. Anyways, Cuties, guys, is a Netflix movie that I'm going to give a little bit of backstory to. So it came out a couple months ago, but it's winding the clocks back a little bit further. Trailer dropped, I believe it was the late summer, and the internet was in a uproar. Holy cow. Holy cow. You know, people were like, Netflix, you're a bunch of pedophiles for producing this. The director, you're a pedophile for even thinking about directing this and writing it. Audience, you're a pedophile for watching this on Facebook or YouTube. You're a pedophile if you're even thinking about watching the movie. I guess it's good I didn't watch the trailer then, huh? I still haven't seen the trailer, truth be told. And that's not anything against Cuties or even kind of like hyping up into the hype train of like hating on a movie that nobody had seen at that point. But it's just that, honestly, during the pandemic, I just haven't really seen any trailers. Before the pandemic, I watched every trailer that came out. But during the pandemic, I really didn't watch anything. Like, even to this day, as the pandemic is still going on, I don't know. My interest in trailers, it's something where I definitely respect and understand the art form of making a trailer. But it's something that, I don't know, I just haven't really watched that many, unfortunately. But what I will say is, speaking of which, I think that a lot of people misunderstand what a trailer is. Let me put it this way. A trailer is something that is a marketing tool. It is to get you as an audience member to want to see a movie, to get that to where you're able to and want to be in a seat and pay money for. Or, in this case, be and watch it on a streaming site. Obviously, this movie did not do a good job in terms of the marketing because Netflix botched it, which is what I want to lead to with my next point. The director had nothing to do with the marketing. In fact, the director was very disappointed with the marketing that Netflix did. Netflix edited it, produced it, the director didn't. They had everything to do with that trailer cut. So when you watch that trailer, if you have issues with it, blame Netflix. But don't actually blame the movie. Lastly, why would you blame a trailer to begin with? It's a trailer. You know, it is, like I said, a marketing piece. You don't judge a book by its cover. Why would you judge a movie by its trailer? I don't know. That's just me. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I follow a lot of fellow YouTube critics on, obviously, YouTube. And there's only like one person out of that have reviewed Cuties. That's alarming. And that one person said it was the worst movie of the year. Okay. Clearly someone had only seen the trailer. But anyways, I then go on Letterboxd. And for those of you that don't know, Letterboxd is essentially Instagram, but for movie buffs, as I like to call it. And there was only 7 people that reviewed it, that I follow. And I follow a little over 100. So that tells you how many people have actually seen it. But even better, there's only 3 people that actually reviewed it. There's other 4 people reviewed, yes, you guessed it, the trailer. So why am I giving you guys all this? Because I think it's important to separate the trailer from the actual movie, which is why I'm giving you my honest, unbiased opinion. So let's get started. So, the premise, for those of you that don't know, is it's simple. It's about Amy. She's an 11-year-old. She is in a very conservative, faith-based, religious family as they go in a new home. And as well as being in a new home, they start going to a new school, specifically Amy, and she starts seeing things in a whole different light. I can't lie. Right off the bat, I want to say this. That premise is something that I can relate to. I moved, I believe I was like 8, 9 years old. No, I was 8 turning 9. I moved and I went from a private school and into a public school. More importantly, it was a private school that was very religious based because I grew up in a very, very religious household. Very conservative too. So right there off the bat, I can relate to the lead character. And then the lead character experiencing things in a eye-opening light of like stuff to where they've never experienced it before is something I've been able to relate to. Even up until high school, even past high school, I would argue, is something that I was able to relate to. The difference being is that it's the perspective of someone in middle school. And I think that it's something that is pretty accurate from what I remember of middle school. Like, kids are terrible. Kids dress in a very revealing way. These are things that the movie portrays and nobody really has the balls to discuss. But this filmmaker did. And I think the director did a good job at depicting that. Obviously, it's uncomfortable. It's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be a comforting, soothing Hallmark movie. It's supposed to be a movie that makes you think. And on that front, I think the movie did a good job with it. It has a lot of thought-provoking elements. I left the movie saying to myself, there's a lot to break down in this movie. This is definitely a movie that I feel like once you tear down the marketing, and years from now, when people actually forget about the marketing and they actually watch it as film critics and film buffs, they'll actually see like a coming of age story that is very similar to movies like Mean Girls, or something along the lines of like Little Miss Sunshine, but in case of middle school. So why am I saying all this? It's simply put because I think it's a movie that's getting bashed for the wrong reasons. If you don't like the characters, if you don't like, certain aspects of the filmmaking, I get that. But actually watch the movie first. Because it's a very beautiful movie, honestly. It's a movie that is very well shot. The Arri Alexa camera is what they used, I believe. And it shows it because the colors are very vibrant. It's a very, good-looking movie in terms of the composition and just the way that the camera pans. I liked it. I think it's a really, vibrant movie in those regards. I also have to say, and this is also important, I think that although I disagree with the messages and the themes, I think, again, the story is something that is still intriguing nonetheless. I would rather have a thought-provoking movie that I don't fully embrace and love than a movie that is forgettable and like the movie of the week. This is definitely a movie, as I mentioned, I think will be talked about for years on end, post-marketing, once people forget about the marketing. But I want to get into the negatives because I know it sounds like I'm really praising this movie and I think that this movie is a masterpiece. I don't, honestly. I think that this movie is unfortunately just okay. But the things that it's really good at, it's really good at. But it also falters for me personally because here's the thing. This is a movie that has it where obviously it showcases, religious households, very conservative, and then it shows over-sexualized, kids, and then, obviously learning stuff from media and just obviously the things around them. And it's showing these two worlds. And pretty much, at least in my opinion, it's showing it as you're either one or the other. You can't be in the middle. It's one of those things you have to choose one or the other. And that's what I got from the ending. The ending made me think, but it also made me think in a way that I was like, okay, I don't like the fact that it's happening as very black and white. I'm someone that looks at things as a very gray world. It's a world where the reason why everyone's always bickering is because nobody is really willing to meet in the middle or even kind of figure out that not everything is, quite simple. It's not this or that. There's more flavors of ice cream than just black and white. That's just how, not black and white, vanilla or chocolate. So you guys get what I'm saying. So I wasn't really able to embrace the messages and themes fully because it's just a viewpoint that I just can't really get behind. But I get what they were going for. And again, I can give them a gold star for trying. It's just something that I fully wasn't able to embrace. And again, I don't want to spoil anything, but you'll get what I'm saying because it's going to sound strange saying that, but this is a movie that's very conservative and thus a movie that you feel like a conservative would like because its message is leaning towards them, but they're not going to watch because it's a movie that is dealing with younger kids and had a very, bad marketing campaign that apparently, if you watch the movie, you're a pedophile. So the group that this movie is almost geared towards is the group of people that are going to want nothing to do with the movie and still don't want to have anything to do with it. So it's a very confusing situation, honestly. It's a movie that is embracing, the art of being conservative and religious, but at the same time, those people that might be interested in those themes and already embrace those themes aren't going to want to embrace the movie as a whole. Hopefully you get what I'm saying. But the other thing is that this movie, I think the pacing doesn't fully work for me. It's a 96-minute movie, but it's 90 minutes without the credits, and unfortunately, it feels a bit longer. The pacing in the second act in particular just is a bit wonky, and I know I mentioned earlier that the dialogue, I think, is very realistic as for middle schoolers, but there were times also in that second act where I was kind of like lulling in terms of interest, but again, it's still a movie that, although I don't love it, and I am kind of annoyed the fact that, there's this whole controversy for a foreign movie where foreign movies never get attention really in America, but it has all this attention because of bad marketing, and unfortunately not like Parasite, where Parasite had amazing marketing and amazing word of mouth. This is a movie that has terrible word of mouth because nobody has seen it and basing off the marketing, and then two, just the marketing in general. So it stinks because if this movie wasn't produced by Netflix and was produced by, I don't know, Neon or just some, other company, then this movie would just kind of get pushed under the rug and years from now would kind of be slowly getting found to be like a cult classic of sorts, I feel like. But, it is what it is. What can I say? But anyways, Cuties, I think this movie's okay. It has some very strong aspects, other aspects where I'm like, whatever. But Cuties, I'll be giving a 3 out of 5 star rating, which for those like a hot sauce rating, gets the good old Frank's hot sauce. So, yeah, it's an okay movie. I think it could have been great, but alas, here we are with a very conservative movie, ironically. But anyways, guys, Cuties, if you have seen it, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you haven't seen it and want to have, a discussion and, obviously ask away, feel free to do so in the comment section. And as always, don't forget the subscription, notification bell, and I'll catch you guys later.